Okay, I think we're live now. We are. Maybe? What do you think?
We could be.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for YouTube to catch up because it's going to blast out of my speakers as usual because I'm not wearing my headphones today. They give me a headache. Here we go. Here we go. God damn it. Bad person is back. God damn it. Oh, you got it too. Right?
Yeah, okay. I got some back talk there. I don't know what you call that stuff. I'm not even technical.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about John Maddox has this ongoing thing with Dr. Dan, and Dr. Dan just kind of blew him off about RNA error correction. And the reason it came up in a debate between those two a long time ago, where Maddox was talking about, okay, so there's one thing in the nucleus, and that's called transcription, where the mRNA chain is created. And then that little piece leaves the nucleus and it gets translated into a protein. And Maddox, the way he worded it, and I think it was mostly semantics combined with him not really understanding the process, where he said that RNA did air checking, while it was translating, which would mean that if it got the wrong amino acid, it would kick that one out and replace it with the right one. Well, to Dr. Dan's and my best knowledge, there is no such mechanism. If you get a protein that's bad, what'll happen is it'll eventually be decomposed, or the ribosome will stop translating it and kick it out for some reason. There's that kind of error checking where it will say, nope, this ain't working out. I'm kicking it out. And all that's very complicated. So there's kind of a war between them where Maddox is accusing a PhD of not knowing what he's talking about at all in biology.
Yeah, his particular spin on it, and I'm not quite sure how much overlap this was with Otangelo's viewpoint.
Right.
But, was that, oh, poor Dr. Dan, he got his PhD, and he just hasn't kept up with all the latest stuff.
Right.
In the 10 years or whatever, I don't know when he got his PhD, but in the 10 years since his PhD was awarded.
Yeah. So where is my John Maddox folder? Maddox 01. I just want to take a look at something here. John has all his papers online, and he's got one named I think he's got one named RNA or something about RNA editing. And let's see, it's Maddox M. I don't know what the hell that one is. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Maddox combined. You see if I can spot that. I renamed all the papers. I'm trying to see what I have, all the most current papers that he's read. So Maddox. Okay, RNA. Let's see what we got here. See if he's got something. RNA conservation, RNA body plan. Okay, that's mRNA. We have, not going to find it, am I? Should have got ready. But anyway, so I think that's what's going on, and that's, they'll seize on something like that with particularly with Dr. Dan. They're extremely mean and aggressive with him. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I think the more confident you are, and the more you excuse me, hold on. Oh yeah, as soon as I start talking, I would get something in my throat.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, there's something about this video screen here that just must irradiate the back of my throat or something. But anyway, they have the attitude, I think, that this guy is an authority, therefore he's challenging my authority, therefore I don't like him, and he's arrogant, and he's got the wrong attitude. And it's just, I hate using all these psychological terms like I'm some sort of expert, but the projection, the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's almost classical. It's like before it was just kind of a theoretical concept, but it's like, wow, it's on display here. But I guess they're on their little streams saying the same thing about us.
Yes.
Except,
isn't that nuts how we use the same language on each other?
and they have used the whole idea of our problem is we're only reading the abstract and not reading the details.
Do you know who's calling? Do you know who's calling me? Immutable.
Well, answer it then.
No. It's like,
oh, I'm sorry, man, I can't make it.
Yeah, it's like.
But I must say that between him and Walker, they have really carried their weight as far as getting things going.
Oh, they've been really good to me. They've been way too good to me. But I don't tell them that I'm saying this.
Yes.
We have it. I have to keep kicking the kids in the ass, otherwise never get it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you have to make them want to try harder.
Yeah, so I can't tell them how much I absolutely, to the bottom of my heart, appreciate what they've done for me in the last 2 weeks. So don't tell them. Little assholes. Anyway, okay. So translation is one of the final steps that regulate gene regulation. This is from John Maddox's folder for annoying people. Us annoying assholes who actually want to read the paper. The ribosome is the effector of translation to its role in mRNA. Let's see. Many mechanisms have been extensively described, accounting for translational regulation. So that's what we're talking about. Okay. So we're talking about regulation. Let's see what he's got. Only recently, ribosomes as cells contribute to this regulation. Indeed, though it is well known. Okay, so this is some new stuff, so you may be right. It is well known that the translational efficiency of the cell is linked to ribosome abundance. Studies recently demonstrated that the composition of the ribosome could alter translation of specific mRNAs. Okay, it could. Evidence suggests that according to the status, environment, development, or pathological conditions, let's see, different populations of ribosomes. Wow, that's interesting. So it produces different ribosomes. And why? Specialized ribosomes, which proposes that a unique ribosome composition determines why would that happen? The current review will present how tech advances had participated in the emergence of this concept. So this is a new concept that they're working on. The idea that different kinds of ribosomes are being created. And this is a review article. I think it's marked a review. So it just basically goes over all the papers that have come out on it. And we have to look into this. Okay. So what else we got? There's other ribosome stuff here. Am I losing you?
No, I'm actually looking for a TED Talk that I saw the other day that looked really interesting. And I kept wondering, I wonder if these particular kinds of organism might be more related to the abiogenesis. So what I'm going to do is put you a link in the private chat, and maybe you could follow the breadcrumbs and see where it goes. But I just find it fascinating. Basically, the lady and her team studied one-celled organisms that they drilled thousands of meters below the or maybe it's hundreds of meters below the ocean's floor, and found the one-cell organisms living among there. Like there's this whole I don't want to say it's not microcosm, a biosphere maybe of organisms that get no water, no sunlight, and they just live in the mud below the sea floor. And it was kind of fascinating. And I just wondered if that might suggest anything about abiogenesis for us.
stick that in. Put it in regular chat. Yeah, can you put it in regular chat? Because you have a wrench.
Yeah, I can put it in regular chat.
Oh no, a mutable ain't gonna show up. So he gets me to do it. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, life happens too. Things come up. Don't give him any slack for it. I'm just saying that
well, things
happen.
Well, he's got a job. I mean, what the hell's that about?
I know. Gosh, you got to do everything the people that pay you tells you to do.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Translation system. Here we go. Is another paper that I found. Let's see here. Take a look at this one. Oh, come on. Share. You can do it, buddy. Okay. Stitching together hundreds of thousands. Yeah, whatever. Okay. I love when they explain it to you in the beginning. Synthetic capability includes ribosome, SoS required for pollination, driven extensive efforts to harness it for societal. What? What? Okay. Recombinant protein production has impacted lives of patients. I don't know. Oh, synthetic biology. This one is. So that one's about synthetic biology. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Tell you the truth. It was sort of. I think just a way of attacking Dan and pretending to show him up, because John, I call it having a squirrel in his cheek. You're muted.
A squirrel?
Not a squirrel. A nut in his squirrel cheek. I'm sorry.
Oh, a nut. Okay. I get the analogy now.
Yeah, I'm. One thing you have to know about me in the coming weeks is I bring severe physical depression, which is different from psychological depression, where I'm missing words and I'm going to put things together sometimes wrong. So anyway,
that sounds like me every day. So
yeah, well, I get it. I used to get it like once a month or once or twice a month, and I just shut the hell up for a day, because it's really weird. You can't string words together, and everything seems to be happening in slow-mo, and it's kind of anyway. So
yeah,
it's like a little squirrel nut in his cheek, that he has in his cute little cheek. He has this one little thing where he thinks he can attack you. This one little thing that he learned, and then he sets up to answer the question wrong, and then he comes after you with that smirky grin of his. And does this whole condescending thing, and then he won't let it go. So I call it having a nut in his cheek. Just holding it there's like, I got this little gem, I got this precious little factoid, and Dr. Dan doesn't know about it because, and I'm I'm just a putz from Nashville with a YouTube channel who's never taken a bio course in my fucking life, and I know more than his PhD. So that's what I mean.
I've got all those scientists beat.
Yeah, got them beat. They're not reading the most current research. They don't get, the current Royal edition of Royal Society. Truth of the matter is, Dr. Dan does, and I do, but there's so much shit that comes out every day. My email is blasted every day with new articles.
Yeah.
And who's got time? John reads them 10 a day. It takes me sometimes 10 days to read one. I don't know why that is. I guess
speed reading is probably going to actually work against you.
Well, what you do is you go through the abstract here and you look for things that sound creation friendly, and then you've read the paper.
Yeah. There you go. Because nothing matters but the points that work in favor for me. Okay, I put that link to that article, that TED Talk, into the live chat. But that'll be something to watch between reading papers or something.
Okay, cool. I will check that out. We will check it out.
Also, I noticed that the SETI Institute has people working on origin of life issues, and not just panspermia or anything like that. It was real interesting. I saw one video that had to do with just kind of questions, that speculative questions that this one particular scientist was raising. But then, of course, in my history, they came up with several other SETI Institute ideas having to do with origins of life. That was real interesting.
Yeah, there's
a lot of information out there.
There's a new thing that came out today. Let me see if I can share the tab on not panspermia, but the manufacture of organic compounds in meteors and comets. And I just got a thing today in the mail. Leading research. It's not even published yet, so it has not been peer reviewed. Let's see here. Share. So they think they discovered a protein inside of a meteorite, and it's an old meteorite, and they have not. This is just went up, and it's waiting for peer review. This one was discovered back in 1990, but it's a fairly simple protein. I think it's a polyglycine. It has one amino acid, and then it has a few others, but it has this odd something that they spotted to really interest me: lithium and iron atoms at the ends, an arrangement never seen before. Now, yeah, when you look at an abiogenesis, you got to imagine that the Earth was like a mineral beast. It had a lot of really, really interesting minerals, and they were being boiled and heated and dried and blown all over the place. And these minerals, like iron, the fact that we need minerals for all life. We have magnesium and zinc and iron. Organic compounds form these very interesting complexes with minerals, and that's part of how very much how enzymes and biochemistry works. And here they found something new, something odd in a meteorite. And it's interesting. Anyway, and then
I wonder what measures they have to take to ensure that it's not some sort of contamination from the outside environment, because how long do they think this thing had been?
1990. That is a big problem, and that's happened over and over again where they've had contamination, and that is the primary reason why this paper will or will not get published.
Yeah. So it's found back in 1990, but how long had it been there before that too?
So, but then, when rocks are pretty impermeable to organic compounds at the center, so they have to go through these elaborate. It's the same way they do radiometric dating. They have to go to these just unbelievable lengths to get inside the rock, or even a tooth a tooth from a fossil. They have to make sure that they don't bring any contaminants in. Right. And what they do is, I think they rule out, I think in some cases they even look at the DNA of the researchers and try to figure out, whether there's a possibility that a flake of skin got in there. But it's interesting. But I forget how they put it here. Somewhere along the line they said, the thing is, we don't know much yet.
Right.
And that is considered by the Christians to be the biggest sin of all, apparently, that we don't know, because they know. That's the thing. They know.
They've got their instant, simple explanation that can fit anywhere. So
from the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you know everything, and you're going to pick on us because we're just getting started. And I don't know, it's really weird. But then I noticed that, like, when I read biochemistry and molecular biology, I read to find out about one particular thing. This morning I was learning about how joints form in how this little gap forms in an embryo that ends up being a joint. So my goal is to learn about how joints form. Their goal is to prove God and prove atheists are wrong.
You're talking about joints like in our bones and everything? Did you say joints? Okay.
Joint.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. There's the cartilage forming, and something happens where there is a gap where the cartilage does not form.
Mm-hmm.
And so that basically doesn't produce cartilage. So there's like two pieces of cartilage up against each other with a gap. And then at the same time, muscles are developing. And as soon as muscles develop, they start contracting. And when they contract, it makes this glycoprotein that greases the joint, and it just goes to form the whole joint. It's really cool. But I'm looking at limb development. But anyway, so I'm looking in very, very, fine detail to answer a tiny little question about something that I'm curious about. And what they're trying to answer is the big questions about life, the universe, and everything. And does God exist? And they're looking for only things that will basically make stronger their bias. You look for things that will reinforce what you want to believe. That is
he's cognitive dissonance.
Right. It would be like if I started reading about joints, and I absolutely believe that they're that the Hox genes were programmed to make joints here and there. Right. If I had a wrong belief at the beginning, then I would reject everything how it was really happening. And I would only look at, what confirmed my bias. Confirmation. Yes, right.
And that's the danger everybody has and, needs to be on the lookout for. I forget who said it, and it might have it was back in the 80s and might have been actually a Christian political columnist, but he said that objectivity isn't a goal to be achieved. It's a kind of a journey.
It's a skill.
Way. Yeah, it's a skill set, but you can never say, I am objective. It's more like, I am working to be objective. I'm continuing to improve my objectivity. And that's the kind of thing, too, that can, it's a habit you can lose real easy. And
the statement that I am never biased is automatically a bias.
Right.
So
I am working to remove bias.
Right.
It's about the process and the journey more than ever being able to say that you achieved that particular goal.
Well, here's what's important. When you sit down to investigate something, you have to first you have a come to Jesus moment about why are you doing it? What is your motive for doing this investigation? Is my motive to prove that evolution is true, or is my motive? And I guess overall, it kind of is when it comes to limb development, and their goal is to prove that evolution is false. So
right.
I don't know, but if I don't abandon that or put that on hold to bracket my bias, then I'm not going to learn anything. I think in a lot of ways, when I study embryology, I am actually looking for flaws in evolution. I've been doing that. Notice that about a year or maybe a year and a half ago, that I had this like skepticism about evolution. And it's like, it was based on how embryos develop. It's like, I didn't even believe that embryos could develop at some weird, childlike core level in my psyche. I found this skepticism, and then I started investigating it, and I've been investigating it ever since. So I'm still investigating. So
right.
So I don't know.
It is an amazing thing, the development of a fetus. It's just one of those amazing things. I love to see those cameras that study the embryo at different stages, like you see on National Geographic specials and stuff.
Oh, I have 2 textbooks, and they have like hundreds of links to those videos that I'm going to start. I guess when I get to the point where I know what I'm talking about and I can explain joint development or something like that in more detail, I'm going to run some of those videos for us.
Now, what got you looking particularly at joints?
My journey is to learn fin to limb evolution. So
Gotcha.
yeah, and so yeah, there's my bias. I'm trying to figure out how it happened, how fins ended up changing into limbs. In order to do that, you have to figure out how they develop in an embryo. So I have to look at a fish egg and figure out how it ends up a fin, and then I have to look at a zebrafish, or not a zebrafish, but a reptile frog leg, or frog egg, and how that grew a limb instead, and compare the genomes between the two, and find out what the difference is. And the big one is fruit flies. You look at Drosophila melanogaster, which is the common fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Say fruit fly real fast when you're tired. That one has, basically this gene pathway, sonic hedgehog, right?
Right.
And it has a pathway in it. And at one point it has a little protein called cubitus interruptus. And that's in insects, but in vertebrates, it's a GLI1 through 3 that takes over. So you can see that these genes are very, very similar, but they're different in vertebrates from what they are in fruit flies. Mm-hmm. And fruit flies actually have a kind of a simpler system, and vertebrates have this more complicated system. But the amazing thing is that they both do the same goddamn thing. So it's like, you got to ask yourself, why did God design a perfect viable system in a fruit fly and then throw a bunch of other mud on it and make it more complicated in a vertebrate?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because he's such a brilliant designer. I don't know.
Or he's like a kid just throwing things together.
Yeah. But to answer your question, that's something I really want to focus on is limb development. So
that's very interesting.
Want to know
how one of these days those fruit flies are going to rise up?
I know.
There's a apocalypse coming, and we deserve it.
It's the raccoons that are gonna take over.
Yeah, I worry about those raccoons.
They've already learned how to manipulate humans to feed them.
Yes, my mother used to buy these huge bags of just off-label dog food or cat food or whatever. It was cat food, and would feed them every night. And
that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm buying the cheapest dog food for I think it's $27 a bag for 57 pounds at Sam's Club. I'm not going to feed them Iams dog food. I'm feeding them the cheap shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they love it. If I throw them a steak and then throw them that dog food, they'll pick the dog food over the steak.
Wow.
Pretty weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. What if you cut it up for? What if you cut the steak up for them? Would they?
Yeah. Well, sometimes there's a certain group of them that get beat up a lot, and if I throw something big out, they'll grab it and run off with it. So yeah. So if I throw bones out, they rather like bones. I don't know what they do. They probably go and eat the bone. Chew on it and a lot of minerals and calcium. Bone, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, so that's why I'm doing it, and that's kind of what I've had to come to terms with the fact that I can't read all these books. I'm trying to focus on just a few things.
Yeah, have the book available for reference, because surely you've got enough books on that general subject matter that they're going to eventually start cross-referencing all the time.
Oh, they do. And that's the only way that I can manage my ADHD mind is to read from multiple books at the same time. If I read from one book, my mind just starts to go in circles and it never gets anywhere.
And you got to think about it. Most books aren't worth reading in their entirety.
No, they aren't.
Yeah.
So. But there's a lot of they're not pulp books and they're not pop books, but there's a lot of intermediate books like Nick Lane's The Vital Question on Abiogenesis.
Yeah, I've got that sitting right on my table next to the couch.
So I have it sitting right here. anyway, that one, is very detailed, and it's a cut way above, pop sci. And when you read those, or you read books that are slightly less complicated, like what's the other one I got here? Junk DNA by Nessa Carey. There's a whole. It's really easy to get a lot of overview about stuff, but you don't really get any in-depth technical. You gotta go deeper. Hang on a second here. I got a cough to myself. So, I mean, it pays to read those. I call them bathtub readers. I go sit in the tub and read them, and get as far into them as I can.
You don't have an old Barbara Cartland romance novel that you read?
Fuck no. I haven't read fiction. I haven't read fiction in 15 years.
I have I don't read fiction, but I put them. I get the Audible version.
Yeah,
and if they have a good if they have a good narrator, I really like that. Like I'll do all I've done all the Jack Reacher novels. A lot of them I've read, actual physical books, but lately it's just been Audible books. And then there's this sci-fi series called The Expanse.
Oh my God, that's coming out when? This month?
Pretty soon, yeah. I'm not sure exactly when. But yeah, the Expanse the series is going kind of on its own way a little bit, but it's still an awesome sci-fi series.
Yeah,
the books are great as well. They're just much longer and more involved. But
the books are better. So
the books are better. Yeah, and they really do a good. It describes kind of a credible future. Except for the big gates and everything, but obviously that's way out there sci-fi. But like if the Earth future a couple of 100 years from now,
right,
you could see it happening that way.
Yeah, and they make a lot of do the books make a lot of statements about social class?
Yes,
casting and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something we're already saying. But yeah, I will listen to Audible books. But as far as reading fiction, I love Stephen King. I always have. I just love his storytelling is so much better than his supernatural ideas. And he did a thing called Mr. Mercedes, which is actually not supernatural. It's a detective novel.
Mm-hmm.
He did a couple of them, and I just watched the series. I finished it last night, and the series is really good, and the books are good. But I listened to them in the car while I was going on long drives. But so I've got all this fiction that I want to read, like Peter F. Hamilton. I love his sci-fi, Reality Dysfunction, and I forget what the other one was. He's just have you read Peter F. Hamilton?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, he is wonderful. He has a Reality Dysfunction series. If they ever make that into a movie, number one, it's going to cost $1 billion to do it right. It's going to have to be like a 10 movie, series, but I'm waiting for that one. He's worth checking out. He writes very good sci-fi, and it just gets you into worlds. So, but anyway, what I was going to say is I'm waiting. If I ever get a terminal disease, I made a decision that I will quit reading nonfiction and start trying to catch up on all my fiction. So,
well, you could also do something like 3 weeks of nonfiction and 1 week of fiction.
I don't have fucking time.
Well, okay, all right. I was just suggesting a healthy compromise.
No healthy compromise here. I don't healthy compromise. Every time my doctor says that, I get pissed off at him. I don't know why. Just like, fuck you, doc.
We all do. You just prefer the extremes.
I love extremes. Like like my kids are always, they're Dad, do you have any Tylenol? And I say, yeah, take 4. It's like, no, it says take 2. No, well, they say take 2, but they really mean take 4. Well, actually, Tylenol, you should never take more than 3, but ibuprofen, like I'll do that shit by the handful. If the label
I've had enough inflammation before from different endeavors to take like 4 ibuprofen at a time.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, because if you ever get if you ever get an injury, they will recommend like 6 times the regular dose of ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My liver probably looks like an angry Jabba the Hutt, but still.
Yeah, ibuprofen, it's Tylenol you got to be careful about. You can never take more than 6 of those a day, and 6 is pushing it. So Tylenol, you should only stick with 3 because that will actually fuck your liver up. So.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Alcohol, of course. So, but most of that shit, fuck it. They're just recommendations on the label. I don't.
And you always wonder if they recommend less than the real tolerance levels.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of. It's a good idea to read about so you know what the hell you're getting into. So, it's not nonsense, Creo Debunk. It's actually. Let me see. Let me hide that. Okay. So it looks like they discovered a protein. It's a polyglycine. So glycine is an amino acid. So it's mostly glycine. And abiogenesis has to do with these polyglycines too. And it has it's oddly complex with oxygen, lithium, and iron atoms. And that is pretty cool. So we don't know any more about it until the paper actually comes out, so we just have to keep an eye on it. But I don't think it's bullshit, so I don't know.
Well, I think it's like with this Venus thing, with the was it glycine or something in the atmosphere?
Right.
You just have to keep a very healthy skepticism the whole way.
Yeah, but there's something there. And then, there is a possibility like Venus is extremely hot and volcanic activity. If there had been a civilization just like ours on Venus 1 billion years ago, we would have no evidence of it left, except for maybe these little trace chemicals. So, I mean, it's something you can open your mind to, and I like to think about it, but I wouldn't count on it, But it would be weird if we started finding traces of that there was life there. We would never be able to put it together.
Good evening, gentlemen, or good morning, I should say.
Hey, good morning, Midnight.
Hey, Midnight.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing really good.
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah? Why?
I mean, I could tell you now, but I'd rather tell you. I guess I could tell you off air. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty happy. That's all. I'll leave it at that until the stream ends.
Biden?
Can we talk you out of it?
Yeah.
We had a what? Okay, no, you know what? I'll put it in the side chat. Just quiet.
Well, you're happy now, but some really shitty stuff's going to happen next week. So it's going to fuck all that up, and then you're just going to be older, and and worse looking, and
okay, quiet. Okay, look at the side chat or private chat. Yes.
Oh my God. That's wonderful.
Yes.
There is a God. No, it's.
Well, I mean, funny you should say that. I did have like 5 Christians pray for me because fuck it.
Oh, yeah. I got a few of them praying for me lately too, and they've been sending me a lot of condolences, and some of them are a little bit odd, having to do with demons and things like that. But you gotta love them.
So you're grieving, and they talk to you about demons. I guess maybe they think that her husband was a demon or something.
Well, they mean well, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys. I know you mean well, but I don't know. It seems odd to be like, oh well, demons. Go ahead, Mike.
They really do mean well, and then the other there was one that told me, and I like him. He's a wonderful person, but he told me that God will smite the murderers, and he will get judgment, and he will get vengeance upon the murderers. And I'm like, that's what I'm about here. It's like, screw it. Stranger. Huh?
Oh, is the stream over?
No, it ain't. We're still live, but a stranger
It ain't
across.
over till I say it's over.
Exactly.
Scott,
Oh, by the way, I don't know whether Smokey says this to be like funny, but he's like, oh, at midnight, I'm your biggest fan. Okay, that's cool. I don't know why he says that every time he sees me.
he
You know?
really? Wow.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I
So
remember like yesterday I went on Will Kincaid's stream. Apparently, he's having a war with Raging and John Peterson. I don't fucking know, but
Will is Will with
yeah.
rage?
Yeah,
Really?
apparently. I don't know. I don't know whether he still has the video up, but yeah, apparently they're having a little schism or
Well, no.
spat war, whatever the fuck.
The most exciting thing that's going on right now is this Trinity thing with Smokey, is Otangelo, Joel. Who else is involved? Nicholas. They've divided up Christianity with this Trinity thing, and they're just going after each other. Like Smokey is. Hey Dylan, I'm on. Hang on a sec. Hold on. Talk, guys, amongst yourself.
Okay,
I wonder
well,
if they're going to come up with some sort of quantum trinity, just to be really, both modern and classic at the same time.
yeah. I don't think I've ever met you, Scott. I forget Scott Duke. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We haven't been officially into. I thought we've talked before, at least in chats and stuff. You have a different username in the chats, don't you?
Yeah, I have. I'm a man of many names.
Okay, but
Midnight or Fiend. It's all over the place. You know what I mean?
that's fine. Yeah, spread those names around.
It keeps people on their feet. So I'm gonna assume you're an atheist or non-believer.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, I am. I'm a atheist, but I'm skeptical of my own atheism.
I mean, for me, it's like it's weird, right? I'm not religious. I do have some spiritual beliefs, which are I don't know, kind of odd, but whatever. Everyone has their own weird
Yeah.
little.
I played around with Taoism, just as a way to kind of ponder my spirituality for a while, but there was just nothing empirical behind it. So,
Well, I mean,
I decided, well, it's got some good concepts. It makes you think from a different angle, and I think that's where we get our dopamine rush. Is our mind just being able to switch? I call it switching angles or switching points of view, at least briefly, to look at the world and the universe and
well, yeah.
ourselves in a different way.
There's nothing really wrong, with studying, with expanding your knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, I find Buddhism interesting. I need to look into it more. You know what I mean? Then there's Stoicism. Stoicism is definitely interesting too. There are a lot of philosophies, that have pearls, good pearls of wisdom. Like the Bible even has some pearls of wisdom. You know what I mean? It's not all. Well, okay, it's bullshit, but it's not all bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right. Everybody's going to come across, I guess, what we could call wisdom, good practical points of view, even by accident. So, yeah. But other books of the same age, of the same era, have good things to say as well.
Yeah,
Buddhism.
Buddhism. Hey, bud. I can go for Buddhism.
Buddhism's
Hey,
good. Bud. Anyway, Buddhism tells you that the whole point is to take those pearls of them and not take the belief away, not come up with any dogma. At least some schools of Buddhism tell you that you can get. In fact, they have no problem with garnering wisdom from Christianity or anything else.
I thought the whole point of Buddhism was not having attachments. And figuring out that all life is suffering, and then adapting the right view. You know what I mean? Adapting an objective view, which then leads to the right I forget. There's like 8 steps in the 8.
Yeah, right thinking, right belief, right practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, things that that Smokey could use. He should read those tenets and come up with them. But it was really, really fun the other day. Nicholas, bless his little heart, came on and said Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling.
Rude Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling. Buddhism. Anyway, it was pretty cool. But he read a really pretty.
You're all crazy.
Yeah, but the Trinity wars are going wild, and I don't understand a fucking thing about the Trinity. And there's some really weird, arcane, magical beliefs in this Trinity system that they have. And Smokey and Nicholas are on one side, and then all the rest of them seem to have varied beliefs on it.
Yeah, let me run by something by you, because I recently thought about this. Like, see, there could be a God, splits 3, like it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? You know what I mean? Like, if I put it in text. Hold on. If we, three halves could make a whole. So, the Trinity could make sense when you consider that that each piece comes together to form God. I know there's like something that's heretical.
It's like multifaceted. Yeah. Do you want to end up being a trash cologne heretic? If you keep talking, I'm sure Smokey's going to find.
Well, no. I mean, like what I'm trying to say is that if we think about it in terms, obviously it's a shitty analogy, but if you think about it in terms of a human being is made of each individual cell, billions of individual cells, right?
Right.
All those cells combined form the person. So if you take that logic with the Trinity, God is basically the combination of 3 things.
I thought the point of the Trinity was to rub both nipples and then touch your forehead.
No, hold on a sec. Although when we think about
I think they went over did that go over everyone's head?
Basically, yes. But what I'm trying
to say, the cross.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that okay, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Like God could be the Father and the Son.
Yeah, don't you rub each nipple and then move your hand up to your head and touch that, like the Father, Son, the Holy. You know what I mean? The Catholic thing where they touch themselves.
The sign of the cross.
Yeah, is that what they call it? Yeah, that's rubbing. Isn't it rubbing each nipple and then touching your forehead? That's what I always was told.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh, congratulations. I just noticed that.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You have won a trip to some fucking place.
Oh. Never mind.
I cannot wait until Monday.
So, where do you live now, Midnight?
In New Jersey at my mom's place.
Okay, you want to get to an apartment?
Oh,
yeah. I understand that.
You didn't want to talk about that online?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Out of the bag, whatever.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Midnight lives under a fucking bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a troll.
Sparkling troll.
Yeah. Okay, we could end this for the day. I got a lot of shit coming up I got to do. We got an hour.
Just because I left the secret out.
No, I got. We just came up on an hour, and I've got a million things to do.
Man, hang in there. We are thinking about you.
I know. Thank you.
If you know it, if you need anything, you know how to get hold of me.
Hang in. We're going to go backstage, okay? We'll see you guys in the public world. We're ending the broadcast eating chips, but that's okay. Goodbye, everyone.
I'm not eating chips, but yeah, that's good enough.